Have you cleaned out your closet and wondered what to do with all that old clothing? Well, you may have seen the recycling bins for clothing and small household items that are popping up, it seems, on every corner. Complaints about them, though, prompted one state lawmaker to push through a new law regulating them. Our consumer investigator Jennifer Krause is here with more on the law and what it will do.
And Roy, that law took effect today, and we already found changes.
One morning we woke up and there were bins everywhere.
Those brightly colored bins that are popping up in grocery store parking lots are for recycling things like old shoes and clothing.
I see them everywhere I go.
But when Representative Brenda Gilmore started getting complaints about them, she decided the state needed to step in. She says property owners were upset that bins would suddenly show up without permission and trash was left behind. But Gilmore's biggest concern was that donors often didn't know where their donations were really going. Many bins have a charity's name on the side, but in most cases we've discovered these bins are operated by for-profit companies that usually give the listed charity a portion of the proceeds, while some we found give nothing at all.
The biggest reason, though, that we felt like that this legislation was necessary is to provide transparency and protect the public.
Under the new law, all bins must be clearly labeled. If a bin is operated by a charity, it must clearly feature the charity's name, contact information, and mission statement explaining where the money goes. If a bin is not run by a charity, it must also state donations made here will be sold by a for-profit business, and a portion of the proceeds will go to the charity listed. It must also direct consumers to the charity for more information on where the money goes.
And if the bin is strictly a money-making venture for a for-profit company and nothing is going to charity, it must state clearly on the bin in large letters, this is not a charity. All donations made here will be sold by a for-profit company and are not tax deductible.
We think that we are forcing or calling the bin operators' hands to make them be honest to the public.
It's about consumer protection.
Brent Culberson heads up the state's Charitable Solicitations Division, which will be enforcing this new law. And they're busy trying to get the word out. We caught up with them when they shot this public service announcement.
To comply with a new state law going into effect
that aims to educate both the public and bin operators.
We'll also have a campaign on Twitter, so if individuals are out in their community and they see a bin and they want to check on it, they can retweet a photo and we'll have a hashtag bin check.
ThriftSmart was one of the first to get on board with the new labeling requirements. It runs its own collection bins and sells most of what's donated in its thrift stores in Nashville and Franklin. And all profits go to 4 named charities.
And we want to be as transparent as possible with the people that are generous enough to donate to our stores.
There is nothing in the new law or even an existing law that says how much a for-profit company must give a charity when it claims to be helping it. But regulators hope that consumers will use this new information to make informed choices when they're donating.
To really ask the hard questions, ask organizations where it's going, how much, and see what answers they give you.
The new law also says bin owners must first get written and notarized permission from property owners, and they have to regularly empty out and clean up around their bins. Now, one of the bin companies, Better World Books, told me today that they've actually pulled out all 15 bins they had in this area yesterday because they didn't think they could comply with the new law.
If they're being honest, right? But asking the hard questions, as he put it, as to where this money is going, it's important, right?
It is very important, especially because we found it varies from charity to charity. Now, tomorrow night at 10, we'll have the answers to some of those hard questions. Where do your donations really go? Who's collecting them? And how much of what's collected really goes to charity? That's tomorrow night right here on News Channel 5 at 10.
All right, we'll look for it. Thanks, Jennifer. And again, if you see one of those bins that you think is not in compliance with the new law, you can report it to the state just by posting a photo of it on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram with the hashtag #BinCheck. Be sure to include the location of the bin, including the city, county, and any businesses it may be near.